6 practices in, what do you feel like maybe you guys have accomplished up to this point?
Our guys are getting very good understanding of what we want out of the tempo of practice, out of the effort level of practice. We're not where we want to be yet, but we're seeing gradual progress through each practice. And that's what I want. I want improvement on a daily basis. Our guys are really attacking it. We're able to show them more and more clips of what we're looking for, which is good, as opposed to more and more clips of what we're not looking for. So we always show them the good, we show them the bad, and we're finally getting to a point where we got more good than bad.
So what's that next step look like for you guys when you get back from break?
The next step is to shake off the rust from spring break, continue to improve in the effort part of the game, continue to improve in the tempo part of the game, but now we'll be a little bit more aggressive with our install in terms of schemes and plays.
With the install, with the playbook and stuff, has it been just a majority of the time here just a focus on the fundamentals, what you guys do?
Basic fundamentals. We're focusing on effort, we're focusing on technique, we're focusing on tempo. And once we have those 3 things under control, now we can focus on X's and O's.
There's been a lot of talk about, from the defensive side anyway, about how they've not liked where the tackling is. Is that a credit to anything that your guys are doing?
We stress playmaking. This offense is designed to get the ball in the hands of the playmakers. And, if you're getting only what the play is designed for, well, anybody can do that. So we put an emphasis on either breaking tackles or making guys miss. And guys are doing a better job. Again, when we talk about what we've seen, a gradual improvement over the course of 6 practices, our guys are doing a better job with the ball in their hands.
About the receivers, anybody emerging as playmakers there? I know it's really early, but
it is early. Guys are growing up. Again, that position particularly takes a little bit longer to get used to the tempo. They run more than any other position on the field. And when it comes to being in game shape, those guys take the longest to get adjusted. They're getting adjusted, and you can see it in our tempo, in our effort. So now they can focus on the techniques when they're winded. They can focus on their assignments a little bit more when they're winded. There's less MAs. But guys are doing a good job. Obviously, today, a bunch of guys on the outside. Jason Kroom made a couple of big catches. Jacob Carter. So we got guys stepping up and making plays.
You think they had a clear understanding going into the spring about exactly how much running they were going to have to do? I mean, was it kind of were they, because y'all mentioned it a lot, they run more than everybody else. Did they know that?
You can only tell them so much until they experience it. I don't think they can ever be prepared for it.
How's Devin picking up the position?
Good. He's working hard. He's a guy that's in here a bunch, watching extra videos, picking Coach Z's brain. It is a change for him, and he's getting used to it, but he's doing a good job there.
And what have you seen from your quarterback? Sorry if you've already been asked this.
No, not at all. I like where they are. Today in particular, I thought they made good decisions. We talk about, we emphasize in our meeting room, number 1, leadership ability. And I saw Nate today really step up his command presence at the line of scrimmage, which I liked. We emphasize protecting the football. Through practice 1 through 5, we threw too many interceptions. But we're getting better. We emphasize completing the football, taking what the defense gives us, managing the football games. Again, I'll be interested to see the numbers. We charted every practice, but I think we had a high completion percentage today. And then we emphasize getting rid of the football, being on time, being on rhythm, not taking sacks. A couple times today, I thought we held on to the ball a little bit too long. But overall, I like the progress they're making.
Are you getting any closer on a decision-making process at quarterback, or is that something you want to continue to play out in the spring and summer?
That's Coach Jim's decision.
In terms of it might be a silly question, but in terms of, y'all talk about protecting the ball so much, is there any concern at all about harnessing some playmaking ability and stuff? Because at the end of the day, you want to do the high percentage stuff, but you also want points on the board. Is there any concern about, since that competition, so much of it's protecting the ball, that they're not getting the opportunity?
I'm not quite following your question.
I guess in terms of, you say that protecting the football is something that's crucial. With that said, does that harness playmaking ability?
No, not at all. Protecting the football is very simply, depending on what position you're looking at. If you're looking at it from the quarterback position, all it means is simply making good decisions, not forcing the ball into windows that aren't there, and that's a double negative. But you want to take what the defense gives you, and what that does is it gets the ball into our playmakers' hands that much more quickly, and gives them a chance now to break tackles, make guys miss. So from a quarterback perspective, no, I don't think protecting the football inhibits playmaking ability at all. I think it helps promote it. On the perimeter, whether it's the ball carriers or receivers or tight ends, we're going to emphasize having good ball security. There's nothing that will inhibit their ability to make plays if they're protecting the football.
How about the running back situation? Is it still Neal and Lane at the top there, or how are the young guys looking too?
Everybody's working hard, and everybody's doing a good job, and they're all getting better and better and better. Shoot, a couple guys, Alden Hill, the past 2 practices had a couple good runs. He's got to make good decisions, and we even had a couple other guys step in there. Summerhill made a couple good runs today. So everybody's doing a good job at that position.
How crucial is the pass blocking there? Y'all do so much one-back stuff. I imagine that it's got to be a huge part of that with no fullback back there to chip in.
Our running backs, I think no matter what offense you're in, the running backs got to be able to pass protect in some capacity. Obviously, it's up to me as a play caller to make sure I don't put them in a position that doesn't fit their skill set. But our guys all have the ability to do it, all have the size to do it, and we'll put it on their shoulders to be able to perform that. So they've been doing a good job at that.
Mike, I know you're probably going to go back and review the film, but it just seems like receivers, there's fewer balls on the ground. They seem to be maybe getting some of the little things better. How much better do you think they are from practice 1 to practice 6?
Night and day right now. Can we get better? Absolutely. But they are doing it. They're making plays. That's the one thing I walk off the field today. A few plays go your way, you walk off the field with a completely different attitude. We threw, I don't know if you guys saw the scrimmage part of the practice at the end, but we completed 3 or 4 deep balls, guys going up and making a play with defenders draped all over them. And that's a big difference. We always say there are 4 to 6 plays in the course of a game that will determine the win or loss. You don't know what 4 or 6 plays are going to be. And oftentimes it comes down to a guy making a play on the perimeter in a critical situation. Today we saw that, and I was happy to see guys step up and do that.
Last week at this time, you were stressing to the guys how to practice, not so much what to practice. Has that shifted a little bit?
We're always stressing how to practice. We will progress into installing more offense, but we'll never step back when it comes to fundamentals, when it comes to techniques, when it comes to assignments, things like that.
Now, with spring break right around the corner, is it hard to keep the guys focused and motivated? Most when they take a long break, that last day of work gets a little bit lax. Was it hard to keep you guys focused today?
No, it wasn't. We emphasize having a dominating attitude in everything we do. And part of that is what we call a snap and clear mentality, okay? We want to dominate every single rep. Obviously every game, every day, however you want to put it, but it's a step-by-step process. So we presented to them that, hey, we got to come out here and don't look past practice. You just take it one snap at a time, and soon enough you'll find the end of practice. We can celebrate, have fun after that. But our guys had a great approach today, starting in the meeting room in the morning, and they brought it right out onto the field.
Mike, obviously, I think you're using each and every practice, each and every rep to evaluate your quarterbacks. Do you put more stock though in maybe a scrimmage, what they do, in Eland over there, kind of on the bigger stage, or is it all the same?
The environment that Coach Jones creates is meant to apply pressure at all times. So whether the setting's Neyland Stadium, whether the setting's here in the indoor facility, we're always looking to apply pressure. Now, if there's 500-600 fans like there was on Saturday, does that apply a little more pressure? If mom and dad are in the stands, does that apply a little bit more pressure? Sure, and that's a welcome invitation for that type of situation. But I think we create stress and chaos, as Coach Jones has talked about, purposefully, and always want to see how they're going to respond.
Coach, do you do that in the meeting rooms as well? Or
Oh, yes.
So there's no break, like build you up in the meeting room.
It's an up-tempo offense. And we talk about it. Everything we do in the weight room, everything we do here on the field, everything we do in the meeting room is fast. If you've had a chance to sit in on my meetings, I speak very fast in meetings for a reason, because they got to be able to process information quickly. So it's not, I don't ask questions where I want a dissertation for an answer. It's quick one-word answers. It's quick moving. Everything we do is up-tempo, from the meetings to the weight room to the practice field to hopefully walking to class.
How about where the O-line is? Do you like where I know there's a lot of experience coming in at that position. Have those guys done a pretty good job buying in and doing what y'all want?
Yeah, they have done a good job, and they're working hard just like everybody else. They're learning just like everybody else. Again, we talk about the transition that the receivers go through. They do more running than anyone else on the field. Well, I'll tell you what, our offensive line is doing a lot more running than they're used to. So it's a little bit of a shock to their system too. So they've done a good job of getting into game shape, and once you develop that shape, now you're able to play at the effort level we want, play at the tempo we want, and now again you're sharper with your fundamentals and your techniques.
How do you feel about the depth situation there? Because that's one of the few positions on offense, I guess, or places where for the most part, there's sort of an established group that's been there, been the ones and all that stuff, and the twos, maybe not a lot of room for them to jump in there and get in the mix. Do you like the depth there, though?
We're always trying to establish depth at every position, establish competition. The whole program is built on competition every day, and so you're never satisfied with where you are from a competition standpoint or a depth standpoint. You're always trying to develop more depth, and that's a developmental process that comes along with having young players, new young players in your program year after year. It's not the NFL where we have 10-year veterans. Okay, we have new faces in our program every single year, so it is a developmental process, and that's always going to be a challenge. I don't care where you are or what the situation is. Depth is always a challenge.
Do you like the way those young O-line guys are fighting in there and plugging in? I think Coach Mahoney said some good things.
I am extremely happy with the approach our entire team is taking. They are doing absolutely everything we ask them. If I told them, hey, you need to do a cartwheel on this play because it's going to help us, they wouldn't even question it. They're just going to go out there and do it. I love the approach they're taking, and it's refreshing as a coach to have that. And so they're in there fighting every day, just like the rest of the positions.
But how hard is it to judge what happens in the passing game when so much is new? I mean, is it tough to? I mean, you have to break down like miscommunications.
A little bit, but we got to be able to play pitch and catch when those plays are there, and that's where you really evaluate it. I know
basic fundamentals, not necessarily steps, route trees. And all that.
Right. If you talk to any defensive coach, what do they call it? They call it a point of attack play. When you're at the point of attack, do you make the play? Well, a little bit like that with the passing. And when we have an opportunity to make a play, when we have an opportunity to play pitch and catch, are we able to do that? And today we did a good job of that. Last practice, Tuesday, we didn't do a great job of that. So it's something we stressed after Tuesday's practice, and they came out here today and executed.
And just sort of a geeky question, with the receivers, are they interchangeable? Like if you get a freshman, you teach him all the positions, like learn this one, then we'll work you in. How do you go about it?
It's funny, we talked about that in our unit meeting not too long ago. The more you can do at any position, the more opportunity you have to play. If you're an offensive lineman that knows tackle and guard, or guard and center, well, that's that many more opportunities to play. If you're a receiver that knows multiple positions, it's that many more opportunities to play. So we will put on their plate what they're capable of handling. And guys that can think quickly and learn faster are able to take on more responsibility and thus probably find their way onto the field a little more quickly.
You mentioned earlier that you completed 3 or 4 long passes in those team periods we didn't get to see. Who were the guys that stepped up and made those plays?
Again, I don't wear my glasses on the field, so I just see bodies going up and getting the ball. I did see Jason Kroom go up and get one. I believe Cody also went up and got one. But I got to go back and look at the video, so I'm not exactly sure.
I appreciate it. You guys put Paul Harris in a 91 jersey today. Is that trying to hurt his feelings or something? Or
Coach Jones is the master of motivation, and it's just a way to say, hey, wearing number 1 at the University of Tennessee is a privilege. Think about all the great guys that have worn that jersey, okay? And there's a standard that's set to wear that jersey. So we were just sending a message to Paul that in certain parts of his game he needs to pick it up.
Hopefully some of the guys that have worn 91 don't see that though, right?
I'm sure those defensive ends won't mind.
Thanks, Mike.
You mentioned how you